Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Cecilia Mwangi, the National Students Program Officer, Kenya Red Cross, and we're here to discuss about the very first or the first ever annual Learning Symposium 2022. And today, our discussion will be purely based on why this came into existence, what are the objectives of the symposium, what we want to achieve, how can you plug in. I am joined today by my panelists, Esther Muiruri. Esther Muiruri is the Programs Officer, Disaster Risk Reduction, Climate Change, Adaptation, and Environment at Kenya Red Cross. And she'll be here to support us in understanding this whole aspect of the symposium. Karibu sana, Esther.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here and to share with everyone what we are planning to do.
Thank you. So, just a few things. You can share your questions, your feedback, your thoughts about the discussion today through the chat system. We'll be able to sample your questions. We are happy to be here to just support you in understanding all this. So, feel free to ask as many questions as possible. Esther and I will be here to support you. I just want to start with us as Esther because of time. So, what is this learning symposium? How did it come into existence?
Thank you, Seth. So the Learning Symposium basically means it's just creating a platform where we can reflect on how we are doing our programs, how we are impacting and working with the community. Really like trying to look at what are the best practices we have in house, what is it that we can be able to scale up, what is it that we can be able to adopt, integrate between programs, between regions and counties. So it's a moment really for us to come sit down and reflect on how we've been implementing our programs, how we've been working in partnership with different stakeholders, how our work plugs into the bigger picture and the framework set by the government, but also international frameworks, looking at the impact, really focusing on the impact, like what type of impact are we making? How can we amplify it better? And given the fact that Kenya Red Cross is one of the leading humanitarian organizations in the humanitarian development, it's really a point of learning from our own experiences and being able to plan better, design programs better, work with stakeholders better, work with our communities better, work internally better in an integrated way, but also sharing our best practices out there, being able to know how best to use it or to utilize the best practices, the learnings that we are getting from different expertise that we have in-house. So it's a really interesting opportunity for us as the Red Cross family to really come and see what, for example, what says you're doing with the school program, and you get to learn what I am doing with the DRR sector and all environment and all. So it's an opportunity and a platform for us to really know each other better and also highlight what we are doing best in our community.
That's very interesting. And you mentioned something around just bringing together people to talk about the best practices, key learnings, what to improve on. So, how does this symposium build or plug into the Kenya Red Cross Strategic Plan 2021-2025?
Yeah, that's a really good opportunity. A really good question, because when we were thinking about the symposium, the idea came about during our normal coordination meetings, where we were like, okay, we need to come up with a better way or an innovative way to really enhance learning internally. And this was like, okay, we need to have a platform or create a platform or a way or an approach that we have several different programs, all our programs coming together, sharing what they are doing, the best practices, our support department as well to share what best practices exist and all that. So, and one of the, maybe I can talk about the objectives again here,
Mm,
is that we have several objectives, very specific objective. And the first objective really is to create a platform where we are able to network internally as a KRCS family, to learn from each other, but also to create a platform where we build synergies, we accelerate or enhance partnerships internally, but also with the stakeholders that we are working with in implementing our programs. But also, most importantly, is really to have a platform where we can share our best practices, showcase what is working and how local led and co-development with community looks like in a humanitarian setting. And really, when you reflect on the theme of this symposium, is around reimagining humanitarian action through resilience building. So it's really for us to reflect on the way we are implementing our programs. Is it really contributing towards the resilience building, and what best practices exist so that we can be able to adopt those better and scale up? What lessons, what challenges are we going through, and how can we, uh, collectively come up with solutions around that? So, coming back to the other question about the strategic plan, you realize we are actually on our second year of implementation of our strategic plan. Is also an opportunity for us to start reflecting and seeing, okay, where are we at in our strategic plan, and the three strategic goals that we are all programs are working towards, contributing towards. So it's really for us to look at, okay, what is it that is working, what best practices that are there, how can you accelerate and effectively and efficiently better implement the strategic plan for the remaining 3 years. So now that's where the whole conversation of learning comes in place, because we are doing a lot of good interventions, but having this opportunity where we are able to learn and see how the different parts of the whole system are moving, and where you can be able to plug in, and really providing that space where people can truly be able to reflect on how are the interventions we are doing plugging in into the strategic plan, and how can we do better in accelerating the implementation or supporting better the implementation of our strategic plan, and really being able to see that we are still sticking and being around the bigger objective of the strategic plan. Yeah.
quite elaborate. So let's talk about the day in itself, the symposium in itself. What are some of the activities that are lined up? What are we expecting now that you're talking about learning from each other? What are some of the activities that are have been planned for this day?
Yeah, so the design of the symposium is to be totally participatory in nature. We want to have everyone having an opportunity to share their experiences, to learn, to ask questions, to have an opportunity to be innovative and creative. So we have different sets of activities lined up. Of course, they are very technical sessions. We have more leadership um, sessions. We have more innovative sessions. So we have various sessions lined up. So just maybe to take you through the different sessions that are lined up. We have at the leadership level, or more governance leadership perspective, we have two leadership dialogue sessions, which will be looking and reflecting around the strategic plan, where we are at, what can be done, looking at what is working and how can we make that work better, but also reflecting on what innovations and in creative ideas exist within our staff, our volunteers, our membership, and the partners we work with, and how can that be harnessed at the leadership level or the strategic level to accelerate or effectively implement and achieve our bigger goal in the strategic plan. So, and then we also have Ignite stage. This is a very interesting space, and this is where all the I like to call them the cool ideas, but really practical, innovative idea. Really, those ideas that you would really want to hear, and ideas that bring about innovation, um, revolution, if that makes sense, but ideas that contribute towards efficiency, service delivery, effectiveness of our interventions, and really that focus on the impact. So this Ignite stage will be hosting like pitch sessions. Will be the format of delivery will be pitch sessions, where people with various innovative ideas will just be pitching without necessarily being asked questions. So we will basically be sitting down and listening to you, and we'll have different ways of evaluating different ideas or giving feedback to the presenters. But particularly, we'll be deploying some digital tools and applications that will help us, get feedback about your idea and how that is fitting within the bigger objective or the bigger plan within the humanitarian sector, but most importantly, how that is contributing to resilience building of the community. So we already have very exciting ideas under the Ignite sessions, and they range from different approaches in how to approach different things in programming, in processes, but also the digital space, technology, and how best we can be able to harness that from a humanitarian development perspective. So that is one of the very exciting space where we'll be having a lot of presenters. So you'll see a lot of presenters presenting in a very short period of time. Then from there, we also have another set of activities that are organized more thematically focused, more technical focused, and this will be organized in breakout sessions or roundtable discussions, where we'll have either one presenter presenting an idea or a case study on what they have been doing, or the work that we are implementing within our different branches and regions. And others will have different speakers who will be speaking on a particular space. And the idea here will be to have more focused thematic sessions that will evaluate the best practices, how we're implementing programs, how they are fitting into the national frameworks and international frameworks, but also evaluating how to navigate existing challenges, how we can better program in that level from a technical perspective. So that is also very exciting, because we have also had a very varied and diverse range of sessions that have been submitted from DRR, from health, from climate, from national development perspective, from an income generating perspective. So there are a lot of sessions that are also lined up in the breakout sessions. And this is where we will give people an opportunity to go to where their heart feels at
Yeah.
home. Well, the rest of the sessions will be, everyone has to be in one room, but this one will have 3 to 4 sessions happening at the same time. So we'll have to choose where we want to go to based on our interest, but also based on what we want to learn and how we can impact and amplify that space. And then we'll have the exhibitions and the exhibitions will be running throughout the 2 days, and this is where we'll have all the different programs, the regions, showcasing the materials. They have products, they have poster presentation, videos, the photos, pictorials about the work that we are doing within our communities and in our regions. So this is again the space where it will be open and will be running at all times, and people can go at any particular time to go and get to learn. But one of the interesting thing again says on about this symposium, we want to learn about, we want to collect feedback from everyone who will be participating, and we have designed a very interesting feedback mechanism
Mm,
where it will be more like a real-time feedback. So if you visit a session and you want to give feedback about that session, you'll have a QR code that you can be able to scan and be able to give feedback on that. If you go to an exhibition booth, the same thing. So you have all this space to give us feedback so that we can improve, or how we can be able to make the next year's symposium better. So
mm.
that's the whole lineup about the symposium.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. For sharing that with us. Quite elaborate as well. And I want to take us back just a little bit, just to focus on one or two sessions. So, like the Ignite stage, how is it going to be? Yes, you mentioned that the various participants, or if we'd call them people who are pitching their $1 million idea, for lack of a better word, or the innovative idea, so how can I plug in if I am not able to come here physically? Because the event is actually being hosted at the Boma conference here in Nairobi. So how can I plug in if I'm not ideally in Nairobi? What is it? How can I benefit if I'm the one who is pitching? Is there like awards for this session or any other session for that matter? I mean, honestly, I am a young person and I would want to know where will my innovation idea go after presenting? Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Says. And for the innovation, the Ignite stage, first we are looking for like non-traditional ideas. We are looking at the practicability, applicability, sustainability. We are looking for an idea that can work, an idea that comes to solve a challenge we are dealing with, for example. Yeah. So we will be looking at all those aspects or those key elements in your presentation. And so what we are looking at getting from the innovation presentation first is, if it meets all those elements, is it an idea that can be adopted? If it is not already within the organization, is it an idea that can be adopted to enhance efficiency or effectiveness, or a different way of how we do things? So secondly, yes, indeed, we have uh, awards for the innovation part, the Ignite stage, and there are very limited, very few awards for this.
Yeah.
So, and we will be looking at all those elements for those ideas to see whose idea better scores the highest, or which meets the criteria, and based on the criteria set and the verification means that we have put in place, then we will award three best ideas that will be presented. But this doesn't mean that if all the ideas are good, we will say, okay, the rest of the ideas will, are not good. It's not a measure of how whether the idea is good or not. I think it's more about looking at all those elements and being able to prioritize or rank
Mm,
ideas that like low hanging fruits. What is it that we can be able to pick very quickly and be able to implement. But of course, we will have a way of documenting all the sessions, including the Ignite stage. And we hope that from the feedback we'll be getting from the participants, we'll be able to improve either even in terms of follow up of the ideas that will be presented, key highlights of the entire symposium, different sessions, but
Mm,
also how best can we follow up on any ideas that will be presented on Ignite stage, and they do have a potential for application. So I hope I have answered that. But yes, yes, it's one last question about
yeah,
those of us that are not able to come to Boma.
yeah.
Yes, so we have made provisions, especially for the Ignite stage, to have a video conferencing option, so that for those of us that are not able to join in Boma, either they are in different parts of Nairobi or different parts of the country, they can be able to join us virtually and listen in on what will be happening, the ideas, and they can give feedback on the
Mm,
tools that we have set in place to give feedback as well.
mm,
So we are planning to ensure that you have a full experience, especially of the Ignite stage sessions.
mhm,
I admit that we are still looking at maybe in the next planning, if for the next session, we may be able to have an opportunity to have a full hybrid for all the sessions. But for now, we will only be able to do the hybrid for the next stage sessions.
Thank you so much, Esther, for that. Apologies for the noise in my background. Thank you so much for putting that across. Just allow me to read the comments as we continue. Omar says, following from Kwale, Karibu Sana. Amina, so there's a question for you from Amina Ibrahim Arale. I hope I said that right. Is it a platform that everyone can access? And then Tito Kiprono says he cannot wait for those interactive sessions. We also can't wait. We're so excited, Tito. And then Ann Kanini says, nice and motivational session. I hope you're learning something. I am learning as well. And then we have Z. J- Okay, Organic Crowd Farms Limited says great discussion. Hopefully, this bears physical implementation of resilient oriented entities. I think you can be able to address that. And lastly, from Tito in this particular session, before we move on, what's the criteria for one to participate? What's the criteria for one to participate? I think we can take the three questions. The first one from Amina: is it a platform that everyone can access? The second one from Crowd Farms Limited: they hope that it bears some physical implementation of resilient oriented entities. And lastly, from Tito: what's the criteria for one to participate? Over to you, Esther.
Thank you so much. Really glad to hear all those comments. So I'll start with the first question by Amina. Is it a platform that is accessible to everyone? So for I will say the symposium targets the KRCS family. That is our volunteers, our members, our staff, and our PNSs. And learning from this, we will see how best to expand that space. But for now, it's an internal learning symposium, so we are focusing on targeting our internal staff, volunteers, membership, and our partners, national society. When it comes to the accessibility of the platform, when it comes to the hybrid sessions, we will be sharing with you how to access the hybrid sessions. So you will have a link that you can be able to join, and that will be shared later, not in this session, but later, before the actual symposium, and will be shared through the normal channels that we use internally, including through our regional managers, and you will be able to get the information on that. And I think that question is also tied to the one Tito asked about how can I participate. So when it comes to how you can participate on the hybrid, once you have the link, you can register and you'll get the direct link to join the hybrid sessions. For participation in person, that has been coordinated from the thematic leads and regional managers. So I would suggest that you get in touch with either the thematic leads if you're in programs, or the regional managers or the head of department if you are not yet in the participation list yet for the physical event. The other question from Crowd Farm Limited, the resilience oriented. Yes, this is really an effort by Kenya Red Cross to really have a platform where we are able to learn how we and discuss how we can be able to scale up some of the resilience interventions that we are doing. Already, we do have we work with we have a framework for community building, community resilience that guides our programming, design, and implementation, and most of all our programs actually are focused towards building community resilience towards shock. And this is again reiterated in our strategic plan, where our first goal is to enhance the capacity of communities to better anticipate, prepare, cope, and respond and quickly recover to disaster shocks. So this learning symposium really is to help us to learn internally on how different interventions can enhance the resilience actions that you're already undertaking, particularly focusing on how can we manage the challenges that we may be going through, but also how can we amplify the best practices that already exist in-house. I hope I have answered that very well, Seth.
Yes, apologies. I had my mic on mute. Sorry. Yes, you have. Thank you, Esther. I ask all of us, just keep on sharing your questions. We'll be able to answer them as we continue with the session. I think you've already answered the question of, is it an event for just Red Cross members only? So we invite all of us to attend, especially like the hybrid session. It's open. Just come and, learn a little bit about some ideas, get to know some of the things people are thinking about in terms of health, in terms of youth development, disaster management. We could learn a lot. Esther, somebody shared, we were accepting questions prior this particular session. So somebody asked, I am interested in social media engagement. How can I support in these sessions, or how can I support? How can I plug in?
Oh, wow, that's a very good question. And that shows the enthusiasm that we already have about participating. And I can say already that's really great. First, I think one of the things that will be happening around social media engagement is that there will be a lot of engagement from social media handles from the KRCS. And I think we can share the handles so that people have access to them. But also we will, as we move closer to the symposium, we'll also share a social media communication plan around that, and see, and with suggestions on how you can plug in that. And then I would say also, lastly, it would be great to also channel that request again through your county coordinator, or if you're in your region, the regional manager, or if you're in a department, the head of department or thematic lead, so that we can see how best to plug in you into the communication plan that we already have in place. And I think that is a really good suggestion that you're already ready to support us in that, because we do need to communicate and share exactly the best practices that we are already doing. And it's really good to see that we already have a lot of support in this. So I think that is something that can be followed up. If we can, you can be able to get in touch with your county coordinator or regional manager, and we can see how best to plug in into the bigger picture of the communication.
Thank you so much. I hope that answers their question, but I think that is quite elaborate. I'll just narrow this discussion down to you as a person as we are wrapping up this. So, how has it been planning the very first or the first ever annual symposium? How has it been? Are you working alone? How has this whole thing been? Have you ever even planned one? Yeah, tell me, how has it been?
Okay. It's been great. It's been a lot of hard work. Like you said, it's not been myself. I have a very strong team behind me that have been making every move and ensuring that every part of this planning takes place. And they are the reason why today we are here. We are able to make this information session available and share the great sessions that are happening. So it's been great working with the entire team, and the team is drawn from different departments, which has been really great. And bringing together all our expertise and our different passion into this has been great. And then also working with the people who have submitted to present or participate or speak has also been very great. It has been very eye opening, especially when someone asks, "Oh, have you actually thought about this?" And I'm like, "That's a really good idea. Can we can be able to plug in and run with it." And also the teamwork that has existed in the different teams and working in pairs to make sure that every part of this program works has been really a great lesson. And also, I think one of the other aspects has been really being able to uh, think I have never organized a learning symposium before, but I have been in a team organizing forums or a conference. So this has been a new experience for me. It's a new challenge, trying to push um, yourself towards something that you've never done, and you're like, okay, let me do this and see how it works. But also having people within the team that have had similar experience organizing similar events and forums has been very helpful. And it has been very easy for me to be able to bring together the rest of the teams to work on this.
Thank you. Last question that I can see in the comment section from Jackie. What are the dates for the event? What are the dates for the event?
Okay, thank you, Jackie. So the dates for the event remain 30th and 1st of December.
Okay. So, guys, in a nutshell, 30th and 1st of December, if you're able, block your calendar. Join us as we learn quite a lot, or a thing or two that you didn't know. It's also an opportunity for you to actually ask the tough questions. We'll be having a leadership dialogue. We'll have a sit down with members from the senior management, Kenya Red Cross, some key decision makers as well. It's an opportunity for us to learn from them and them to learn from us. Allow me to just read through the comments as we wrap up the conversation. I could probably start from where I stopped, which should be Oscar TV. I don't know if that's a television session, but Oscar says this is an amazing initiative. I'm from Kakamega, Kenya Red Cross, and this organization has taken me places. I believe you, Oscar, and thank you so much for being with us, volunteering, being a member. Keep up the good work in Kakamega. Ismail Wamukoya says, thank you very much. I am following from Mandera. From Mandera to Nairobi. Thank you so much for joining us. Jackie Rongo, great platform. Thank you for joining us as well. I'll just go through to Barkley Okero Mugeni. Barkley says, thank you, Kenya Red Cross Youth, for this initiative. Looking forward to participate. We're looking forward to having you, Barkley. Share your ideas, share your feedback, share your questions with us, and we'll be able to, work together to get this right. And then Bridget Boyd, such an awesome initiative. We are glad that this is the first of many. Esther, this is the first of many, right? Okay, this is the first of many. I had to say that so that she can take ownership, you guys. Okay, then we have Simstar. How can I work with Red Cross in our region? Simran, please reach out to us directly. Youth at Red Cross. The handles have been shared there. Youth at Red Cross will be able to direct you to the region, to the county. Kenya Red Cross works in all 47 counties. We have physical offices in all 47 counties. So reach out to us. We'll be able to link you up with the county and region of your liking. Medlin Zuki says, following from West Pokot, looking forward to learn. I'm really glad to have you here, Medlin, all the way from West Pokot. Oh my God. I really, Esther, I like the fact that we have a digital platform because I don't think we would have asked people to, you guys come in for an information session from Mandera and West Pokot. Hello, Madam Cecilia there. I can see you. I can see you too, Maureen. Immaculate, this is a nice platform. Listening closely from Yamira. Oh, thank you very much for joining us. Um, I I am very sorry we have to end our conversation there, but we are available. Nicholas, following. I am following you too from where I'm seated. But thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you taking your time to just join us and having this discussion with us. We look forward to learning from you, and we hope that this symposium will help us all grow together, learn together, and just be able to support each other, become a better society for you and myself. Thank you so much, guys. Jafar from Embakasi, thank you so much. Esther, do you have any closing remarks before we end?
Thank you, Sas. I think for me, when you were reading out the comments, I was trying to take notes, and
Mm,
I want to say thank you so much for all your comments. It's so encouraging to hear people listening in all the way from West Pokot, Garissa, Nyamira, and all over the country. That is so impressive and encouraging for the organizing team to hear this. Also, all your comments around your enthusiasm, questions around how you can participate better. Really, that shows that this symposium was timely and well thought out, and we can't wait to hear all your ideas when you're able to join the sessions. And we are hoping that this is like, actually, we are not hoping, this is one out of many. So start preparing, gearing towards how you can make this better, what you would like to see, and of course we'll be working with you in this journey to ensure that we are able to bring out a symposium that delivers the desired goals and the objective of the organization. So I'm so happy, I'm so glad to listen to all of your comments and being able to share with you what the organizing team of the symposium have put together. And this is they have really worked hard, yeah, even at night. So I'm so thankful to them, and also listening to you about how you're very interested about the symposium. So it has been great. So I'm looking forward to having a successful event, and of course getting more feedback after the event and preparing for the next one as soon as
Hmm.
this one is done. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we just said it's an annual symposium. So, Esther, it's an annual
Yeah.
symposium,
And
indeed.
thank you so much, sis. I mean, you are just amazing. So thank you so much for putting all this together. You are amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. These are the days that I would probably, be, oh my God, and all those things. But hey, we are out of time. So thank you very much, Esther, and everyone who joined. For any questions, any feedback, any thoughts about the annual symposium, theme reimagining humanitarian action through resilience building, please reach out to us at youth at redcross.org.ke. We have just shared it in the comment section. Any questions around how you can join Kenya Red Cross? How can you be part of this national society? Please reach out to us, email us. We'll be able to answer all those questions in due time. I really look forward to seeing all of us in the annual symposium. Thank you so much for joining us. I was your host, Cecilia Mwangi. My panelist was Esther Muiruri. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.